What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the PPL videos. This week is going to be the week 9, I think, team builder. Let me check. Is it week 9? Is week 9. Awesome. Week 9. This week we are going up against the Birmingham Spritzee, which is really cool because it's Alex. We actually played him, I think it was the final week of last season, and we had a pretty fun game. He beat me last season, so I want my revenge. But not only do I want my revenge, I need to win this because right now my entire title hopes are banked off of me winning and Sam losing one more game. If Sam loses, okay, so say I win 2 games and Sam loses 1 game and wins 1 game, my final game does not matter of the season. I will have the championship, so I need to win until Sam loses. That's the biggest thing that I need to do right now. And this is going to be one of the hardest matchups that I have in my final games because this team is not only very threatening and very scary, but it is also a team that Alex I know is very comfortable with, and that makes it much more threatening. Let's go ahead and take a look at his team. He has Mega Sceptile, Volcanion, Bronzong, Thundurus T, Sandslash, Hariyama, Crobat, Azelf, Granbull, Gigalith, and Lickitung. This is a completely different team than what he originally drafted. He originally had Mega Latios, Ferrothorn, Gengar, and Scyther on his team, so he had a lot of other threats on his team aside from the ones that he has now. But to my team, specifically my team, Mega Sceptile is a massive threat. I don't think Volcanion is a very big threat, but Thundurus Therian is a humongous threat. Hariyama is a humongous threat, and so is Azelf. So I kind of went in this game making sure that I could get the chip damage that I needed on those specific mons, and then act like they're easy pickup for late game. Because if he has something like a banded Crobat in the back and I've already wasted a lot of HP that I have on other mons, I could be pretty screwed. So I need to make sure that I have a lot of health backed up on those mons. I think there are some mons that I don't think he could bring at all. Like, I don't think he's going to be bringing Sandslash, and I don't think he's going to be bringing Granbull. Those are the only 2. The other 9 of his mons could come. Mega Sceptile, Volcanion, Bronzong, Thundurus Therian, Hariyama, Crobat, Gigalith, and Lickitung. I feel like I missed one. He has a lot of mons that can come this game, so I was shitting myself prepping. The problem is, I cannot prep to beat his team. I have to prep to live a hit and get chip damage off. I have to prep to live a hit, get chip damage off, and have one thing that is faster in the game to where I can spam one move and clean up late game. That is the only possible chance that I have of winning this game. Give me 1 second, I have to adjust my mic. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, that is my only chance of winning this game. If I like sack off the wrong thing too early and I don't have my quick mon in the back, I'm going to lose this game. Now, while I don't think Volcanion is a massive threat, Alex is using it very well. I don't think it's that good in the format, but Alex is doing so well with it. He has 13 kills with this thing. Like, that is absolutely insane. He also has 7 kills with Mega Sceptile and only bringing it in 3 games. He has 8 kills with Thundy T, so it's gotten at least 1 kill every single time it's been brought. He also has some really good fat mons in the form of like Lickitung. Lickitung is really niche against my team because I have to knock off its Eviolite in order to kill it. That's the only way that I can kill it. Luckily, I picked up a very good knockoff user whenever I made my transfers, so that makes me happy. Another thing that's super important is that he has 1 viable hazard removal this game. Sandslash is not a viable hazard removal against a rain team, so because he only has Crobat, rocks are going to be so important in this game. Like, they're going to be massively important because Mega Sceptile taking 12%. That might not seem like a lot. However, with how frail it is a massive amount of damage. Volcanion taking 25% that it can't recover that back up is huge. Thundy T taking that 25% is massive. Crobat taking the 25%, breaking Azelf's potential focus sash, the 12% on Lickitung. They're huge for all of his offensive threats that terrify me. But now that all of that fun stuff about his team and how threatening it is, I think we should just go ahead and take a look at the team that I'm going to be bringing. The first mon that I kind of sort of knew that I had to bring was actually my Zoroark. Reason being, this has a couple different roles that it can play with this specific set that I'm bringing. As you can see, I am bringing a Swords Dance set. I am bringing a Adamant, Specifically Adamant, because actually I'll go into that in just a minute. I'm bringing an Adamant Swords Dance set with Sucker Punch, Knockoff, and U-Turn. U-Turn is there because I feel like this thing threatens a lot of things out. If I'm obvious about what it is, like if I'm obvious that Zoroark is being hidden behind, say, the Kingdra or the Miltank or whatever, and I can threaten something out, I can U-turn to gain me some momentum, and his team really doesn't like taking that little tiny chip damage that it normally would. It does a lot of damage too, like to Sceptile, if he wants to switch in on a predicted knockoff, it does like 65% to that Mega Sceptile. Sucker Punch also does a lot to Mega Sceptile, and my item is Black Glasses, by the way, because I do not want to have Life Orb. If he sees Life Orb on Nidoking, well, if he sees Life Orb and I'm disguised as Nidoking, he'll instantly know it's Zoroark if I go for a Sucker Punch. I don't want him to see Life Orb on Celebi and then see a Celebi that is not Life Orbed, or see like a Life Orb Mega Scizor or anything like that with knockoff. Same thing with Torn-T. So I feel like Black Glasses is just the better all-around item, especially since I want to run dual stab with knockoff and Sucker Punch. This is enough speed to outspeed Modest, ThunderBolton plus some a little bit. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. If he's going to be bringing ThunderBolton, it's either going to be Scarfed and outspeed me, it's going to be Agility and it's going to be able to set up on something and outspeed me, or it's going to be Life Orbed and it is going to be Max Speed, outspeed Celebi. But in that case, Sucker Punch is going to be what I'm going to click against it anyway, because I will not know if it's going to be Scarfed until I attack it. So I have to make sure that I am able to figure out what it is. But since Sucker Punch is what I want to hit against it anyway, I feel like I didn't need to outspeed it. That was my main thought process there, and that Adamant damage really helps out. Massive, massive thing to keep in mind. I can set up against Lickitung as long as it has Seismic Toss over Body Slam. He might bring Body Slam, but I think he also has to run Flamethrower or Fire Blast. He will also have Wish, and he'll have another coverage move probably, or Heal Bell, or something along those lines if he gets Heal Bell. If I can set up a Swords Dance on that, I can kind of sort of just sweep through his entire team at +2. If I'm at +4, it's easy GG. No matter what happens, I kill everything. Knockoff to a Bronzong +2 through a Colbur Berry does 77%. So I need to have at least that 25% damage, like 2 switch into rocks, plus a little bit to kill through a Colbur Berry with a +2 knockoff. That is the big thing that I wanted Zoroark to do. But this is the first step that I wanted in all that chip damage. As you could see, just looking at his team, you can see pretty easily that Mega Sceptile takes a lot of damage, Volcanion doesn't want to take knockoffs, Bronzong can't take knockoffs, Thundurus, Sucker Punch that puts it in range of a late game cleaner. Hariyama is the one thing that this cannot do much to. Even with knockoff though, it does about 30%, so that's pretty good. Crobat, if it is very bulky, knockoff still does a lot, and after rocks damage, it cannot take 2 knockoffs. That's pretty cool. Azelf is O-code unless it has a focus sash still intact. Granbull, I cannot touch Granbull. That's the main thing, but he's not bringing Granbull. I don't think he will whatsoever. I think he's probably going to use like an AV Volcanion or a Bronzong as his Kingdra switch in. And even Granbull isn't a good Kingdra switch in. Gigalith, I can U-turn out on that and I can go into one of my water mons and just scare it out instantly. And then Lickitung is what I want to set up on. If he doesn't have Lickitung, this thing is going to be the chip damage with Sucker Punch. That's all that he's there for. The next mon on the team is something that I wanted to bring to kind of sort of counter, well, not counter, soak up some hits and get chip damage off on another main threat that I know he's going to be bringing, that is his Thundurus Therian. I'm bringing a Assault Vest Electivire this week. 60 EVs in speed with a jolly nature, 204 in special defense, 244 in HP. Very, very, very specially bulky. What this allows me to do is this allows me to always outspeed Timid Max Speed Volcanion, hit it with a Thunder Punch, goodbye. I can also Volt Switch on it if I want to. I can do whatever I want to that thing, and I'll be good to go unless he's Scarfed. What this also allows me to do is this means that he cannot 2-hit me with Modest Life Orb Focus Blast. Sorry, I just hit my desk. Modest Life Orb Focus Blast is not a 2-hit KO on the set. Ice Punch does about 80% or so, so if he switches in on rocks, he's dead, and that's massive. If he's Life Orb, that's even better. That means he can't switch in on rocks and take a Life Orb hit, so he'll die after 1 Focus Blast. What this also does is this gives me a decent switch in to special Mega Sceptile. If he wants to go for like a Giga Drain or a Leaf Storm after he gets the drops, Dragon Pulse does absolutely nothing to this. Ice Punch O-Co's it. This also gets that really good chip damage on Bronzong with Fire Punch to put it in range of a +2 knockoff. This thing does a lot of damage to Hariyama with Thunder Punch, even though it's not invested in attack. This does a lot of damage to Crobat. This is going to be able to live a Choice Banded Brave Bird from Crobat and do about 65% with Thunder Punch, which is awesome. This also does a decent amount of damage to Azelf with Ice Punch or Thunder Punch, because if he's going to be switching anything in on this thing, it's going to be something that he knows that I cannot risk predicting, because I cannot risk going for a Thunder Punch if ThunderT is still alive. It will get all of his health back, and then I will be in deep shit. I cannot risk going for Fire Punch if he does not bring Bronzong and he has Volcanion in the back and giving that thing a free switch in. So if he switches that thing in, Ice Punch still does a decent chunklet to it, and that makes me pretty happy. Granbull walls this thing for days. That's why I Volt Switch. Can get that little bit of chip damage with the special attack and go into something to hopefully take a hit. If he's offensive, I can't take a hit and I'm just screwed. But Gigalith and Lickitung are this thing's two biggest problems. That's why I Volt Switch, gave me that momentum. The next one on the team is the part of the AV wall core that I thought would be so fun this week to bring, and that is my Kingdra. This is my wall to Volcanion. This thing stops every single form of Volcanion you could ever imagine. Choice Specs Sludge Bomb does less than 33%, so it does not a 3 KO. Steam Eruption does like 10% if he's modest choice specs. It does so little damage, and then with Dragon Pulse plus Draco Meteor, I instantly put it in range of like Zoroark's knockoff. Thunder Punch from Electivire, my 2 Scarfers that I'm going to be having in the back, spoiler alert, like this thing, it just puts Volcanion instantly in range. This also allows me to take a hit from Dragon Pulse. It allows me to take a Dragon Pulse from Mega Sceptile, go for Ice Beam, completely one-shot it. I can take a Thunderbolt from Thundurus T, go for Ice Beam, do a lot of damage to it. This thing also has Scald to hit the Sand Slash in case he brings it. I don't think he will, but just in case, gotta have that general damage. This also helps take out the Gigalith if he decides to bring it. Scald is doing a lot of damage to it, but if I go for a Dragon Pulse and then a Scald, I'm able to kill it, and that's pretty cool. Lickitung, again, huge problem for this thing. That's why if he brings Lickitung, I'm glad I have my SD Zoroark in the back to handle it. If he decides not to bring it, whoop-de-doo, I have my Zoroark still to do a lot of damage to things, and I have this to take on his main mons and get that chip damage that I want. The next mon that I really wanted to go over was kind of the main cleanup mon that I wanted to have this game, because he just really has no switch-ins for it. I'm running a Nidoking set this week that is super standard. I'm running a Choice Scarf Earth Power. On Showdown says Earthquake, that's less than ideal. Earth Power, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Sludge Wave. I wonder if my Jenner did Earth Power instead of Earthquake. I don't know. I'll have to check that. But anyway, Timid Max Speed. This is in case he wants to run a modest agility Thundurus T without max speed. Say he wants to get an agility up, but he doesn't have it up yet. Or say he's like modest Scarf without max speed. I outspeed it, and I can kill it with an Ice Beam. Sludge Wave is there just because it does a lot of damage to his team. Flamethrower is there specifically to get the damage on Bronzong. That puts it instantly in range of that +2 knockoff. Also, if he is Fizz Def, Flamethrower is a 2-hit KO, and that's pretty awesome. But realistically, unless he doesn't bring a Scarf, this thing outspeeds everything, and once everything has about 15 to 20% on it, after Stealth Rocks, it kills literally everything as long as I'm locked into the right move. And I have the correct sack in the back to sack something, I'll bring it in, get a kill. And that's really important to have this game. I'm actually really happy that I have it. I'm really happy that I have this thing. I love Nidoking this season. It's such a hard hitter, and I never really expected it to be this hard hitting. But the next mod on the team is actually something that's really important, and that is going to be my Miltank. This thing is pretty unique. It's a Spadef Sap Sipper Miltank with Stealth Rocks, Miltank, Body Slam, and Toxic. 228 in HP, 164 in Spadef, 116 in speed. Outspeed Volcanion 100% of the time. I can Toxic it, I can set my rocks on it, and I can be a happy man. That means that Volcanion is instantly worn down to the point to where I can revenge kill it with Earth Power from my Nidoking. I can do a lot of really cool stuff with this thing. This specifically is there to take on Mega Sceptile. The only way it can 2-hit KO me is with 2 max roll modest Dragon Pulses. That is the only way, well, aside from Focus Blast, but he's not going to hit Focus Blast. I'm too lucky and bad for that. Low Kick does a lot of damage to this thing as well. However, I think he's going to be bringing Special. I think he has a lot of options to use Special here, which is why I have 2 Assault Vest users to help take it on. But with this specific set, I can set up rocks on a lot of things, I can live a lot of hits, and I can go for body slams to get more chip damage off on it that I need for my Nidoking to clean up late game. Everything that I want in this game is pointing towards Nidoking or my next mon cleaning up. That's all I want. All I want in this game is just to get 20% on everything. I'll be happy. The final mon that I have to go over because I absolutely love this mon, it's one of my favorite mons on my team aside from Zoroark, and that is my Celebi. I'm running a Choice Scarf Celebi, Timid Max Speed, Max Special Attack. Main reason for Max Speed is in case he decides to think that I'm going to Speed Creep something with Celebi and does not run Max Speed Thundy with a Choice Scarf. I outspeed and I can do a lot of damage with Psychic. In fact, after Rocks, I believe I kill. I changed this set a lot. You can see that I have U-Turn, Psychic, Giga Drain, and Future Sight. I changed this set a whole lot. U-Turn was always going to be there. However, I went from running this set with Future Sight to running a physical set with Trick and with Seed Bomb and Giga Drain. With Seed Bomb and Zen Headbutt. Reason being, if he's like an Assault Vest Hariyama, Zen Headbutt does a whole lot more than Psychic does if he's like max special attack, max HP. Zen Headbutt does a whole lot more. It also does a decent amount more to Mega Sceptile. The problem with that is it's very hard for me to hit other things on his team, like Crobat if he's Fizz-Def, it does less. Sand Slash actually does less because it's not a special Giga Drain and I'm not getting any health back. And then ultimately I decided to go with this special set just because I can 2-hit KO Hariyama no matter what, and the only way that he can OHKO me is if he is Adamant, Sheer Force, Life Orb, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, things of that nature. And I don't think he'll be bringing that. I think he has to bring an AV set. He might bring Sheer Force, but I think he has to bring an AV set. And I'm able to 2-hit KO that anyway. So I didn't think that it was a big risk for me to run the chance of missing the Zen Headbutt. Along with the fact that having that Future Sight is really important because he doesn't have good switch-ins to Future Sight if he doesn't bring Bronzong or Lickitung. Like say he decides to go balls to the wall offensive, he doesn't have a good switch into Future Sight. So if I'm able to fire up a Future Sight turn 1 against something like the Volcanion or something like the Mega Sceptile, Mega Sceptile would be the best one to do it against. 2 turns, something takes 120 base power psychic attack along with my attack, I'm getting a kill every single time. This is also really good for late game cleaning. If I'm able to get the Stealth Rocks up to 20% chip damage, I kill literally everything that is not Bronzong with Psychic or Lickitung. Excuse me. Oh, those are the most painful sneezes of my life. Anyway, if I can get that damage, this thing cleans up late game too. So I have 2 Scarfers that can clean up late game, 2 things that are really good at living a lot of hits and getting off some really good chip damage. I have a setup mon that can deal a lot of damage whether I set up or not. I also have my Stealth Rock set up mon along with something that is immune to Mega Sceptile's best stab. And I'm able to get a lot of damage off on things with Body Slam. This team makeup I think is the best I can do. I contemplated running full out Rain. He has a Volcanion. I cannot spam water moves. I cannot spam Draco Meteors with Kingdra against it because it does hardly anything to an AV like Volcanion. I'd have to risk Stone Edges against it, and that's less than ideal. He has things like Hariyama, which can live a Draco from Kingdra in the rain and can just bop me right back with a close combat. He has things like Crobat, which can be Choice Scarfed and can outspeed my Mons in the rain. So there was just like a lot of things that I went through in my head. I was just like, it's not really worth it for me to do this. So ultimately, I think this was the best team that I could bring. Let me know if you guys think that I'm bringing the best team possible. I like hearing different options, but make sure you guys let me know down in the comment section below. But with all that being said, that is going to be the team for this week. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like on this video before you go. It always helps me out so much. Sun and Moon is coming out pretty soon. I really want to hit 1,000 subscribers when Sun and Moon, like by the end of the year, is what I'm hoping. And I'm really hoping that this plus Sun and Moon really helps me do it. So make sure you guys hit a like so that way it helps out the channel a little bit. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get it out of here. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.